world is trying to figure out is exactly what we're doing on this call, and it is selling art or photography via live video. Now, you can do that in a one-to-one capacity. I can write Nicholas a message on his website and say, Nicholas, I'm interested in a couple of pieces. Do you think we could set up a Zoom call? Nicholas goes, no problem. He sets it up. He's got his pieces there. He's holding them. He's talking through them, and we're having a discussion about them. That's the one-to-one model. The other model is the one-to-many model, of which, you know, a live art show is sort of the newest, latest, and greatest thing to be doing. And we've run hundreds of these already. We have our customers doing them on a regular basis. And in this particular capacity, you have an artist in his local studio, which in this case is his garage. He is streaming live to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube. He is holding up his pieces. He is talking about them. He's taking questions live. People are asking questions about this or that, or what size, or will you ship here? And he is selling directly. So it doesn't matter whether you do it one-to-one or one-to-many. It is the next best way to sell art, okay? Now, your industry is a unique one in the sense that you don't have a whole heck of a lot of reports, okay? One that's awesome that just came out is called the Art Market Report. And don't worry, I'm going to send you the link to this. It'll be in the April. Put it in the chat, and then I'll also send it to you after the fact. And it's by Art Basel and UPS. Okay, and they did this report of, they call it the Art Market 2021. It's really the 2020 data, and you know, they have like a full PDF report that you can download. Highly recommend you do. And then they also have key findings, and the key findings is kind of like this fancy little web page that goes through the things. And so you look at online sales, and in their capacity, Chapter 5 looks at the online art market and the rapid evolution in sales in 2021. The chapter shows how the dealer sector shifted sales online in 2020 and at the development of online viewing rooms, OVRs. You know what those are? That is a fancy, snobby term for a Zoom call, okay? And these reports, they always survey like the top of the top art collectors, the Sotheby's, the Christie's, the biggest art galleries. And what they were saying essentially in 2020 is they moved a tremendous amount of art by bringing the collector into a Zoom call with the artist showing off the pieces, or with the dealer showing off the pieces and selling it. This live video thing is utterly, totally, and completely revolutionizing the way that art and photography is on sale. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about artists at the lowest level that have never even sold a piece, that go live and are trying to launch their art career and showing off their pieces. You know, here it is. This one's on wood, maple, ready to hang. You know, my inspiration for it was such and such. You know, here's a metal print. It doesn't matter whether it's the single artist doing it like that. It doesn't matter whether it's the show and fair circuit begging people not to cancel their booth deposits. Oh, we're going to have a virtual art show. They love calling them virtual art shows. Or if it's the, in-person sales via Zoom sessions, or the high-end OVRs, whatever nomenclature you want to give it, okay? It is absolutely the future. And don't make any mistake about it. It doesn't necessarily need to be just a live art show in the traditional sense of the word, you in your studio. In this case, it's a dear friend and customer. His name is Matthew Laka, and he had a gallery show in the middle of COVID, okay? And the show went on. Yes, there were masks. Yes, there were a few people allowed in, and he sold a good amount of the work. Well, guess what happened the very next day? The very next day, he grabbed his glass of wine. He found some sort of a black shirt without sleeves, and right through his gallery we walked, right? And this is, again, streaming on all the live platforms. People are asking questions, and he's walking through his gallery show, okay? The next best thing to actually being able to attend it and actually being there in person. And he's talking about the pieces. And people are asking questions, and they're inquiring, is that one available? No, that one's sold. What was your inspiration? What about this? And it feels real. It feels like you are right there. It is the future of selling art and photography, and there is a tremendous amount of tradecraft to it. What platforms do you go live on? How do you do it? How do you handle the bandwidth issues, the audio issues? What about the tempo? What about the flow? What software allows people to ask questions, and you're allowed to pull the questions in real time? And we are so in the weeds on this right now. How many of them we're running, what we're figuring out, what we're continuing to learn. It's just staggering. It's staggering. It is the future. And you know, when you think about it, everything that we attempt to do, everything that Art Storefronts does as a business, is take the best way to sell art, in person, face to face, and have everything else try to get as close to that experience as possible. So what would be the best way to sell art in the retail world? You would have an art gallery in your town. People would be able to come in. They'd be able to talk to you. They'd be able to inquire about the works, see them in person. Okay, well, what about the people that don't live in your town? This is it. This is the next best way. And it is pretty close to the real experience. And literally the entire art selling world is trying to figure it out right now as we speak. And, what would be the third way? The third way is the website. And the website is just like having the art gallery in town with the doors open and there's no one there to help them. They just look at their own time. Still absolutely mandatory that you have it. Still solves for a bunch of use cases, but it is the least important way to sell art, as we're looking at Van Gogh's face on a chair. So those are the three ways to sell art. And they are critically important. And I believe every artist, every photographer needs to be leveraging all three. And that's a lot of what we teach all year long. How do you best go about doing that? The top block, the last block of the pyramid, is everything else. So you have a local retail art gallery going on. Wonderful. Is it providing you with revenue? Wonderful. We've never found a revenue source that we don't like. But guess what? You do that in addition to working on getting more attention. You do that in addition to employing and practicing the three ways to sell art. What about an online gallery? Maybe it's Saatchi Art, or Redbubble, or Etsy, or Fine Art America, or any of the rest of them. Fantastic. If it's providing revenue, we love it. But it's in addition to getting attention every day. It's in addition to the three ways to selling art. So too for the show and fair circuit when it finally comes back. When it finally comes back, we love it. It's a fantastic way to generate leads. It has some downsides like all the rest of them, but it's in addition to getting attention. It's in addition to the three ways of selling art, and that's the entire ballgame. That's the entire ballgame. You understand this pyramid. You understand that you guys are artists and photographers. You don't have midlife crises. You don't all of a sudden decide, I'm sick of my job and I'm going to go become a tax accountant. You are going to be artists or photographers as long as you are on this planet. You have decades left. If you invest the decades you have left in understanding this pyramid, you are on the path to building a successful art business. That's the whole ball of wax. That's the entire ball game. So ultimately, what does Art Storefronts do? It empowers you across this entire pyramid, and it teaches you how to get attention, how to best leverage all the various techniques, and how to build an art business that actually is profitable and that you can actually live on. We're essentially an art business university, and we don't offer degrees because the learning never stops, but you end up getting a BA in how to actually grow a successful art business. It's really what we do at the end of the day. And it's been terrifying. It's been a terrifying year with COVID and everything else. And on a week in, week out basis, do you know what I do? I talk to people that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they're at the absolute top of their game, the top of their craft, but they didn't understand the pyramid. They didn't understand the rules. And what did they do? They relied, and I'm not faulting anyone, they relied on revenue sources in which they didn't have control. Maybe it was local galleries. Maybe it was a local art agents or whatever it is, or it was the online galleries, or it was the show and fair circuit. COVID hit, and all of that was gone instantaneously. They had no control over anything. How are you going to go about selling your art? What were you going to do? And what situation are we in now? Half the galleries are closed. The ones that are still open, we're hearing are renegotiating rates from a 50-50 split to a 60-40 split. Instead of having 50 artists to choose from, they have 250 artists to choose from. So what's going to keep you in there? And then what about the show and fair circuit? The show and fair circuit, anyone that hits those things hard will tell you conclusively that if they're not at 100% attention, 100% attendance, then they're not going to pay. They're not going to pay. Those things are dependent on having high attendance. And so it's terrifying, right? It's a terrifying thing. But if you are not building your own attention, if you don't have your own list of emails, if you don't have rented attention on the socials that you can market to, how are you supposed to go about selling your art of photography right now? What is the alternative? To wait? You're going to go ahead and just wait it out and hope everything goes back to normal at some point? So we really do find it to be just critical in the entire process. So at the end of the day, more than anything else, we teach you about how this pyramid works. We get you on the path to understanding it, and we get you moving in a forward direction. So that's Art Storefronts in a nutshell, I'd say. So at this point, we'll open it up to Q&A. Love to hear from you guys. Couple of different ways that we'll do the Q&A. One, if your camera's on and you have a question and you want to raise your hand, we'll see you raise your hand because I can see it. For everyone else, there's a participants button. Yep, got you, Jed. There's a participants button at the bottom of the Zoom window, and that'll give you a way to raise your hand digitally speaking. There's a little hand raise thing, and then that kind of just forms a queue if you ask questions, and we can go down the list. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on. I hate having a camera on. I hate it. So I totally understand it. I totally get it. Joseph loves it. And I'll introduce you in a second, Joseph. So you don't feel like you have to. And if you want to just throw your questions in the chat, we can do that too. We like to prioritize the hand reading, and then we stream these things too. So we've got people watching on Twitter, we've got people watching on Facebook, we've got people watching on YouTube. I will see your questions, and we can answer those ones too. So hi, Olga, Tony, Denise, and Camille. Yeah. Joseph, introduce yourself too. I also have Joseph, who leads our outreach team here at Art Storefronts. He's got a number of insights just across the board, but also some more insights on how things work, like pricing and all of those things. Introduce yourself, Joseph.
Hey, everybody. I'm Joseph Vasquez. Yeah, I've been with Art Storefronts for 4.5, going on 5 years now. So I've talked to thousands and thousands of artists and photographers just like yourself. And yeah, I can, kind of give you an overview of pricing and stuff like that today. And yeah, just any other insights from, talking to, other photographers and artists and their experiences. So.
Yep, love it. So we can literally get into anything. If you've got questions about what we do, the software, the pricing, the printing, any of that jazz, we love to answer those. But love to just hear where you are too. Have you not sold anything before? Was your business humming along and then you got whacked when COVID hit? Are you having a question in niche selection or pricing, or how to navigate and negotiate a gallery relationship? Any of those things. We can get into. So we'll start with Jed, and then Tim. I know you were next, and then we'll get to Jamie, and then we'll get to questions in the chat. So Jed, you're up first. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. You'll need to hit the microphone icon. It's in the bottom. Yep, gotcha.
Well, the way I've been doing it is I actually used to have an independent gallery, but now it's kind of like a studio gallery, and sales are kind of few and far between. It'll be like I'll make $1,000 1 month, and then $2 the next, and well, first of all, I'm wondering if it's when galleries see that an artist has their own sort of studio, is that harmful to, I mean, do they kind of assume that he's going to be like dishonest and sell and not give them their cut, or is it like if you have your own studio, maybe it should I tell a gallery if I ever approach, that's question number one. Is it better to tell a gallery? Yeah, I've had my own sort of art world thing, and I'm pretty well known in Philadelphia. But or should I keep it a secret? No, I'm not. No, I'm just an artist, and I never, because I don't want them to get the impression that that I wouldn't be able to work with them or that I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can approach it, and it's horses for courses if you like, right? Like, if a gallery is my number one revenue source and it's kicking butt for me, and I have a really good relationship with them, I'm saying I would say like, look, we've just been through COVID where everything was closed. I've started marketing myself. I'm selling directly on my website, and if it's an incredible relationship and the gallery is providing 90% of the revenue for my business, and they're upset that I'm selling direct, offer them the same split. Offer them the same split. Say, don't worry, we'll keep the 50-50 split going, but I'm going to continue working on building my business. That's number one. Number two, most galleries, in my opinion, if the artist is marketing directly, it will actually help and enhance their sales. Now, a lot of times they don't like that. They want to push back. But the bigger point remains, Jed, you cannot be in a situation where you are not building your own collector list. And in the gallery model, you do not know who your collectors are. You don't know who your customers are. You cannot market to them in perpetuity.
It's kind of like, I mean, I am doing, the reason I asked this is because I had about like the number of sales I had through galleries less than that.
Yeah.
And the number of sales through my gallery, through my studio gallery, and through through online. That.
Then that
So
question,
it's kind of like,
that
well,
question
I'm
answers itself. That question
a
answers
little
itself then.
leery of galleries right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, not that I wouldn't like it, but then what if you just put all those eggs in one basket and it doesn't work? You know,
Exactly right. Exactly right. Which is
like, are they gonna dictate to me how I should paint, or just be like, well, can you do 20 more of these, or is that how it works? I mean, I've never really worked with like I've had shows,
Mhm,
group shows mostly, but I've
mhm.
never really been represented by anybody except myself.
Yeah,
So
and that's what we argue you should do. It sounds like you've got that working, and that's the primary revenue source of your business. So I wouldn't worry about getting into a gallery in the slightest. I just keep doing what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, because I mean, I don't really have that much experience, but if you get into a gallery, they end up. Is there sort of a lot of like they'll kind of try to control your artwork, kind of like you don't
It,
have
it,
really much creative freedom? Is that it?
they sometimes they do, honestly, Jed. Sometimes they do. It varies from gallery to gallery. I mean, it's nothing knock against them, but they're looking out for their business, you know. So sometimes they'll want to control where you can sell. Sometimes they're going to want to control, what you're making.
Yeah,
It's
I'm wondering if I sometimes go on tangents, and all my pieces don't look like they were cookie mold produced. Like I'm known for using like bright cheerful colors, but I just started a series called 1921 about how we're actually 100 years in the past, and like the 30s are next. We're actually living in the 1920s right now. It's kind of a metaphor, but I actually decided to use very dark colors, and I saw it after seeing a Willem de Kooning show, and just use like let the bright colors shine through the darkness, kind of, and I was very interested way. Like I started researching German expressionist stills, films by Fritz Lang and stuff. But yeah, I would just be careful about. I'm a little leery about galleries because I mean,
You honestly don't need to be doing them. I mean, you've
yeah,
already answered the question for yourself. You're selling better directly yourself, and you're maintaining the customer data. So I wouldn't even.
the thing is that I'm selling, but I have to kind of, since there's been a depression, I kind of have to devalue myself a little bit. But
Right.
but
yeah.
how much? And the second question is, do you guys have like something like a trial period, or does it have to be the whole thing, or I don't know. Keep
Yeah,
that.
we don't really have any kind of free trial because
I'm not. It wouldn't have to be free because I figured maybe I could invest some of the money. Some of the money I did get money from the government, the stimulus check, and
Yep.
it's part of my business money now. So.
yeah, I guess if you're asking if we don't have any long-term contracts or anything like that, Jed. So, you'd
Mm.
be here as long as you want to be. So,
So
uh,
it's just by month, kind of.
yeah, yeah, just month by month. hmm Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and
So
then
what is it like? Can you just succinct? So it's kind of like, do you like have like seminars and stuff, or is that it, or
Oh,
how
there.
do
yeah,
Yeah.
you do it?
There's a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year. There's do-it-yourself education that teaches you how to do all the various different things, and then there are live video sessions on a weekly basis, Tuesdays and Thursdays in perpetuity. Basically, like live class, week in, week out, where we teach things. You can get your questions answered, live FAQ, troubleshooting. I mean, it feels like college at some point.
yeah.
So what if I make sales? Do I have to owe you a percentage, or are you like a gallery, or are you just kind of like an art school kind of?
We're like an all-in-one solution for like someone like yourself to kind of plug into to have, get a marketing plan that's, developed by a real marketing team to tell you exactly how to, get more eyes on your art. And then consulting where you can go in these classes and things like kind of like now and get
Oh,
questions.
cool. Yeah.
And then it's also like a store or website that's like your art gallery online for people to buy your art. Then just kind of more specifically designed with features that you and all artists and photographers more need a website to have. So it's kind of all that together in one package, like an
Okay.
all-in-one type of
Uh,
solution. But also to answer your question more thoroughly, like we do have some smaller transaction fees, but it's only the art that sells like through the store online.
But yeah, so it's okay if I have like, because I already have one website. I have an Art Pal, which doesn't work. Then I have a Shopify, which works a lot. You know, my Shopify is on fire a lot, well,
That's
except
great.
now. But
That's great.
I updated with like like a virtual gallery. You know, like kind of not, then like at every month I'll be like, oh, by the way, the show is closing, and then those new shows and stuff. So
Yeah. So our website technology is kind of like a art specific version of Shopify. Think of it like that. And Shopify would maybe have like
yeah,
25% of the features we would have, because we're going to have like image security and those kind of things, print on demand. That's
you
like
have like,
archival museum quality
I don't
stuff.
get to monopolize everything, but do you have that thing where you can like show like a painting in an environment?
Yeah, of
Like,
Yeah.
course.
I think that's I don't know how to do that, so that would be really cool actually.
Mhm. Yeah, we have that for you too.
Yep,
So
and I could show some features a little bit later in the call too about some of the bells and whistles that we have. I mean, it's sort of why we do the demo process, because
Yeah,
to go through all the features and bells and whistles is like an hour. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah,
yeah. And then another thing, just to circle back, because Jed tapped on something that probably applies to a lot of people in here. Approaching galleries and getting into them, it can be almost the chicken and the egg situation. Jed's in a good spot. If he approached or worked with a gallery, he's got a lot of sales. A lot of times you walk into a gallery, you're like, hey, I want to put my art in here. They're going to say, well, how much are you selling? Right? Like they don't want to just put somebody in there. They want someone who they know their art's going to sell. And so that's another good step, like selling your art directly, validating it. It's good for that as well, if that's the route you want to go at all.
okay. Thank you, Jed. I'm gonna keep moving. Tim, you're up next, and then it'll be Jamie, and then I will start getting into some of the chat questions too. So go ahead, Tim. Tim Feinart. Yep, gotcha.
All right. So can you hear me okay?
Yep, gotcha.
All right. So I'll be really respectful of your time and everybody here. So I'll get straight to the point. So I've done a ton of research on you guys. I have been very successful in the past with other ventures. So I do absolutely drink the Kool-Aid of what you're laying down, Patrick. So
I
I get
appreciate that. Yeah.
because I've applied something very, very similar in a different fine art way.
Mhm.
But so I tell you, I know that works.
Yeah.
I understand the value of what you're doing. So a strategic question and I have a tactical question.
Okay.
So the strategic question, real quick, is I'm trying to decide. I don't have a question if you're the right venue for me to step into if I want to sell my fine art uh, work. So I don't have that question. What I'm trying to do is quantify the market if it's worth my time. I think that you guys are in a very, very unique position. And I'm not asking you to divulge financials or anything like that, right? What I'm trying to do is just I'm being very transparent and saying, look, I see the emails coming out. I see the art sales that you're reporting every week, right? I'm trying to say, in best case scenario, if I applied your system and your methodology, which I do believe is good, what kind of return would an average or an above average type, photographer or painter or whatever expect, right?
Yep.
I think that's a question. I know that that's probably not a common question, but hopefully, you can shed some light on that. Okay.
Yeah, and we get this question all the time, and I like to call it the crystal ball question, right?
Yeah.
And sadly, the premise of the question is flawed. And whether it's asked in the way that you asked it, or whether it's asked, what are the best selling sizes? If I just know that, what are the price points? What are the best selling media types? How many hours a week do I need to devote to marketing? And in full transparency, my wife has a PhD in statistics. It's actually called applied research mathematics or methodologies, and she could go through our entire customer database and she would come up with some flashy mathematical terms why you can't explain it. But the fundamental thing is that it's not a formula. There's no formula that works for everybody. We have people that come on and knock it out of the park right away. We have people that struggle for a couple of years. We have people that are making more money that have 5,000 Instagram fans than people that have a million Instagram fans. And it's because everyone's got a different journey. everyone's got a different path and a different story.
Yeah.
What I can say to your point though is that sort of the difference is I can't answer that question for you. Joseph can't. No one can. Only the market can. And what everyone does is they attempt to answer those questions ahead of time and say, well, what will this look like? Well, what will this look like? No one can answer it for you. The only way that you'll know is if you hit the market and you start doing the marketing and you start getting the feedback and you see what works. What ends up happening is a multitude of situations. In some instances, it maps even better than you expected. It hits the revenue that you want to hit it. You're on the right course. You keep doing that. In many other cases, it does okay, but it doesn't map to your expectations. And so you have to start doing some pivots in there to some new styles that might actually tick some new boxes. I mean, when Picasso died, he had 45,000 pieces left in his inventory. 45,000 pieces. What do you think he was doing that entire time? He was trying new things, right? Some of which were duds, some of which did not work out. And then he just pivoted to a new one until he hit a home run, and look where he got. So I actually think like the pivoting portion of it, of being a successful artist, trying new styles, trying new looks, right? New subject material as you move along is as important as anything else is. Where everyone fails is they think that they can ask somebody like your question, like, what do you think of my work, right? Or everyone tells me this work is great, or I got into a juried show, or I've got all these likes and comments and shares. There's no buttons for any of that nonsense on the ATM machine. The only thing that happens is when somebody pulls a credit card out of their wallet and they purchase, and the only way to figure it out is get marketing, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I liken it to like a boat on the edge of the shore, and it needs to be slid down those little rails into the water to see whether or not it can float. And what all artists and photographers like to do is they just keep the boat on the shore, and then they start working on the curtains, and then they revarnish the back. And it's like, what are you doing? Push that damn thing into the water. Let's make sure it floats. We're going to start sailing down the river a little bit, and you'll make course corrections as you go, right? So if the better answer to the question, if you really want to make the business work and you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to learn and you're willing to let us train you to becoming a competent marketer, then I place a very high degree of success on that.
I mean, I totally get that. I would
Yeah.
just say this, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm okay with your response, but I do want to say this.
Mhm.
I also have a PhD. I'm a fairly bright guy.
Yeah.
All right. I have built 3 other successful, very successful businesses. One of them have been in the art space.
Mhm.
So yes, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. What I haven't done is what I believe you specialize in around selling art photography. It's one part of what you specialize in,
Yes.
right? And unique messaging and your whatever you call it, playbook, your marketing plan
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
That's what I think the true value is. So I
100% it
don't
is.
argue. Yeah, I don't argue any of that stuff. But as a business guy that had successful businesses, what's kept me successful my entire life from wasting my time. And so what I was coming at it from is saying, hey, time is precious.
Mhm.
I could give 2 hoots about the cost of your program and the monthly fee
Mhm.
because that's chump change in the scope of things if
Yeah.
you're successful,
Yeah.
right? What I care about is my time. And so the question I have for myself, it's not really a question for you, but I'm trying to dig at the data to understand if this is worth my time.
Yeah.
I believe that if I followed your path, the ASF path or whatever, that there's that. So there's that data point. And then the other data point is you guys are setting square in front of 5,500 customers. You know what they're selling.
Yeah.
So I'm a logical guy that says, look, there are some guardrails. I think I'm probably a little more advanced than the average bear. So whatever number that is, I know I can do that well at least, and probably better because I am diligent. I do put the time in. I'm relentless about marketing. But I don't want to be relentless on something where the market is or isn't worth my time.
Have you so let's ask the more important question. Have you sold this particular product to anyone thus far?
I have sold it in a different format. So I came from the darkroom era where I made very large handmade silver gelatin and platinum and palladium work.
Mhm.
And I've been successful at that. What I'm moving into is the archival pigment ink, a little bit more of a commodity,
Yep.
but it's still archival,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And more of a contemporary medium.
Mhm.
And so those are 2 different audiences.
Yep.
And the collector that's actually wants, and they're still going to buy that for me, by the way, because it's exactly like you said. I do all the things that you talked about. So that's not the issue. I'm trying to go to market with something. I'm going to have you deliver product, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing all the handmade. So that's what I'm trying to get my mind around, because most, I would say, probably all of your customers, or at least 99%, they're either self-fulfillment, fulfillment, or they're using your back end to do that. And so you can see it's a multi-dimensional, sort of
Oh, we have
piece,
we have
right?
such a mixed bag of people that are doing things. Some are originals only. Some are span the gamut. Originals, commissions,
Yeah,
prints. Some are
right.
selling merch. Some are selling courses. Some are selling services. Total mixed bag. Look, if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
the only question that you need to ask yourself, and I appreciate your question about wasting time. We all have to validate we have a product the market wants, right? And what I usually say is that you need to have sold the product to people not named mother, brother, sister, family, friends, right? Because if strangers have purchased your art at that point in time, you know you have a product the market wants. You now have a marketing problem. Before then, you have the will my art sell problem, right? And you need to
yeah,
justify that. So if you feel confident that you have a product the market that wants, it's just a marketing problem, and that's it. That's it.
yeah. Yeah, I think, and I'll leave it be. I'll leave it rest. But I still think there's data that you can help me with,
Mhm.
that, and I understand that if you're not willing to share that,
No,
that's fair.
I'm
That's fine.
totally willing to share anything. It is so crazy how different it is, how each person is so utterly, totally, and completely different, right? Like how good they are at marketing, what their style is. Do they have a diehard niche? Do they have a competitive niche? Right? Like what angle or are they attacking? And it is honestly crazy. And I mean this. On my marketing team, we have a department called the GMV team, gross merchandise volume, the sum total of everything sold through the platform. And we dive in and we look at every single solitary thing these people are doing. What size is their email list? How often are they having sales? What size are their social followings? How active are they marketing? What are they doing? And the
Yeah.
results vary so wildly, Tim. I couldn't even begin to tell you. And I mean, I could show you specifics, and your mind just gets blown on a regular basis. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it all comes down to if you sold the product, okay, and you know strangers want it, you have a marketing problem. From there, you start marketing, and as you've seen in your other businesses, a residue of success comes from that act of marketing. Then you start
Yeah.
getting the learnings. You start making iterations, and you build a business from there.
No, I get it. That's
Yeah.
all. I mean, that's fine. I still think there's some data in there that could be helpful,
Hmm.
but I'll leave it rest. So I
Yeah.
have one other really quick thing
Hmm.
that I want to ask, just from a, tactical fulfillment side.
Okay.
Do you guys handle all of the e-commerce setup and transactions, or do we need to bring that to the table or
No,
establish
no,
that
no, 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 no.
relationship?
Yeah. So the websites are completely set up for all of it. The artist owns everything with us. You own the URL, you own the store, you own the
Yeah.
merchant account. It's hooked up directly to your bank account. You pick a fulfillment partner or not. If you want to print and ship your own stuff, you can. If you want to use one of ours, you can. If you use one of ours, it's Bay Photo on the West Coast, it's Graphic Dimensions on the East Coast. They
Yeah.
have every printer, every ink, every media type, insane reputation for quality. An order comes in, you get paid, printer gets paid. They print it, they box it, they slap your logo on the box, it ships to the customer, you touch nothing. Nothing.
So it's real-time payment then? So
Yes.
like when the transaction happens, it hits the bank account?
Yep. Settles
Okay.
direct. We're not involved in that at all. So,
Yeah, what I was wanting to avoid is have to go out and get, like, wire together Stripe with the cart and all that
none of
crap
it,
that
none of
goes
it, none of
on.
it. You still have to get a Stripe account because that's the merchant account that everyone uses, but
Yeah,
it connects
we
you. Yeah. Go ahead, Joseph.
Stripe or authorize.net, and then you can also add PayPal.
Yeah, but you guys help with that process,
Oh yeah, all of
basically.
it. All of it. All of it.
It's more telling them what account you want everything to go into, because they're going to process that and send you guys the money directly. We don't hold your payment for any amount of time.
All right. Well, that's good. You've been very helpful. Thank you, guys. I'll pass it to somebody else, but I really appreciate it. Thank you.
What's the PhD in, just out of curiosity?
Business.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. Dr. Tim Feinart.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, you got to use
Yeah,
it.
that's probably, quite frankly, sometimes it really kind of hinders you a bit, because I'm almost too thoughtful, too cerebral at times.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've gravitated towards the art business models, because I'm really I feel like I'm more myself,
Mhm.
in that, and you don't have to overthink it. But
Yeah.
so a little bit of that still sneaks out once in a while, where
Mhm.
you got to analyze it and beat it to death. But it's, yeah, it's all good. So,
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Tim.
you're welcome.
Okay, next up it's going to go Jamie, then Naj, and then it will go Stacy, and then Rita. So Jamie, you're up next. Go ahead, Jamie. You'll need to unmute, Jamie. Bottom left-hand corner, there'll be a little mic icon. I'll let you know when you get it. It looks like you're on a phone, so sometimes it's hard to find the button. No, I don't see you getting it. Maybe at the bottom of the phone somewhere, Jamie. And while you're sorting it, I might just go to the next question. Then if you get unmuted, I'll come back to you. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna grab Naj next. All right, Naj, you're up, and you'll have to unmute. Bottom left.
All right, I'm on mute.
Yep, gotcha.
So hello everyone. I'm actually the newest person probably here because I also have a PhD.
No, what?
And I'm a professor in physical therapy, so I have nothing to do with art. This is a decision that I'm making to change my this is just on.
Yeah, you're okay. We can see you. We can hear you.
Oh damn it. I was actually in a class. So anyways, everyone heard it. Damn it. But it's okay. So I I'm trying to figure out from the beginning. So this is a get-go for me.
Yes.
And I want to know if this is something that
Yeah.
would work for people like me. I have done art. I did sell to my friends.
Mhm.
You know, it's not something that I've done as a.
No, I was just doing like the triple checks. Am I still in my class? Can they
I
hear me,
know.
see me? It's got it
I'm
rattled. Which
making
finger?
this woman the host in my class.
Yep. So I can start
Okay.
asking you. I can start answering your question because I know exactly where you're at. So
Yeah.
we all start out selling to mom, dad, brother, sister, friend, right? That's always where it starts. But we have to start selling to strangers, and we need to figure that out. And there's no shortcut to that. And so in a pre-pandemic world, we would have advised the fastest way to do it is get a booth somewhere, right? Like at a local show or a farmer's market, whatever you have in your town. Get the work, sit in a booth, and see if you can get some strangers to buy it. Well, that was in a pre-pandemic world. It's a little bit harder to do that in today's day and age. And so, sort of what we recommend in today's day and age is get samples, use this, which I know you have, go to the social network where you have the most people. Be like, what's up, guys? It's Dr. Naj. I am attempting to launch my fine art business. Hold the pieces up, talk about your inspiration, talk about the fact that they're ready to hang, quote a price, and say they can send you a message on Instagram, on Facebook, or email. You can text, you take PayPal, you take Venmo, you walk through your pieces, you talk about them. This is an acrylic. It would cost such and such, and I'm selling it for and attempt to do it that way. And if you get the sales, then you've got the validation and and I've had multiple people on these calls go and do this after coming on the call and be like, okay, Patrick, you were right. My art totally sold. Where do I sign up? Or others will do it and absolutely nothing will sell. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you don't have a product the market wants. So it's one of those questions you absolutely have to ask.
Sorry again.
It's okay. Your name sounds very Persian, by the way. Are you Persian?
Damn it, I am Persian.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of a class, and that was why I didn't want to come to the Zoom meeting. But I was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Someone else is teaching the class, but I'm kind of supervising it,
Yes.
and it was not on mute, so some issues.
Yes. Classic.
What I was saying, I'm gonna make a change to be an artist.
Yes.
But I wanted to. I'm sorry that I'm asking this again, but
that's okay.
Is there a place for someone like me that is really new to this world? Because I'm looking at these people that are successful and they're doing
yes, to answer your question, yes, we have all kinds of beginners. We have all kinds of people that are brand new to digital marketing that have never done anything. We have people that have never started a Facebook page or an Instagram account or have no email list. It doesn't matter. Emails, whether you have hundreds of thousands or zero, are built one email at a time. So too Facebook fans. So too Instagram fans. So too learning digital marketing, which absolutely everyone has to do. So it's just a process, and you have to start learning. If you're serious about doing it, you have to go through that whole process. You have to go through that whole learning curve, and it's fine. In your case, I would want you to attempt to sell it to strangers. However, you might go about doing that. Because you're kind of high profile, you're probably a little bit nervous about doing that to a certain extent. But yeah, I mean, how many pieces do you have in your inventory?
Probably like 15 or 20. But the thing is, I posted things on Instagram. I created an Instagram page for myself to just share it with my friends. And then one of my paintings, I posted it, and then one of my friends was like, "Can I buy that?"
Boom.
She was just a model of the painting that I did, and I said, "Okay, I'll sell it for this much," and she bought it. And that was the first piece that I sold. I never thought that I would sell art. And then after that, some other people reached out and they're like, "Oh, can I give you a commission, or can I buy this thing?" And then I was like, well, this has been my childhood dream all my life, and I never dared to even think about it. And then now I'm like, maybe I should give it a shot, because I'm not really happy with what I'm doing right now. So Instagram page and Facebook. I made a Facebook album of my work. And now I don't even know how to price them. I don't know how to.
That's okay.
I don't know anything about.
Yeah, we coach you through all of that. We coach you through absolutely all of that. If you're serious, it sounds like you have some good feedback on your art. You sold some. You got some commissions. If you're serious about it, we can help you. We can help you. We'll send you a link for the demo process, and you can talk to one of our people and feel it out, and have a one-on-one phone call, and they'll take a look at your stuff. Joseph, you might as well explain the process.
Yeah. If you put in a request, they'll reach out, have like a 10-minute call. They're going to ask some of these same questions, so you can bring them up to speed on where you're at. But yeah, they'll make some recommendations for you, tell you more detail on everything you get with us and we provide, and fill in the gray spots and make sure it's a good fit, and that timing's right. Because yeah, if you're serious about it, then you might as well get the best tools and actually get a plan on how to do these things, which you'll get with
no one likes sorry to interrupt, Joseph. No one likes to hear the perspective piece, right? No one ever wants to hear like that the marketing is as important as the painting is, right? And so those are important decisions to make. Like, if you really want this and you're willing to work at it, then you start in on the marketing, you learn as you go, and you're actually growing the business. Otherwise, it's just a hobby, right? It's just a hobby.
Right. I want to get it out of the hobby and make it my career.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I hope I
don't get fired.
Yeah. I hope you didn't get busted on that call.
My current job.
Just tell them it was a glitch. Tell them it was a glitch. It was a Zoom glitch.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Naj.
Thank you.
Okay, Stacy, you're up next. Jamie, I still haven't seen you be able to get the mic unmuted, but if you do get it unmuted, I'll see it, and then I'll just bring you up next. But go ahead, Stacy, and then it'll be Rita after that. Okay, you got it, Jamie. So just sit tight. Stacy, did you get your mic off? See, Stacy, I don't know. She's. Oh, so you don't have a question, Stacy? I don't know if she can tell. Okay, Jamie, go ahead. I'll come back to you in a second, Stacy.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you now. Good work.
Can you hear me? Oh, good. All right, so the number one thing that I found out about last July when I joined Art Storefronts in the gold label was that you needed an incredible amount of computer skill, in my opinion, to do this. Okay. So I've had guest computer operators in here trying to help me learn. And when I would go to these meetings that you guys have, it would be fairly impossible for me to get it. So now I've just started into the marketing point, which is embarrassing, but it's the truth. And the thing I was paying attention to last week were the influencers that you were talking about. Can you discuss those with me, or is that past the intro point that you want to deal with here in this particular Zoom meeting?
Yeah. So are you saying you're a customer already?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that particular thing we definitely do not talk about, because it's sort of like an in-house marketing technique. We don't want anyone else to find out about it, because if they do, the arbitrage will go away. But we've got so many sessions for you on the inside, Jamie. You just need to start attending. Have you been coming to office hours or no? or you're literally just starting on it now?
I have office hours in about 3 weeks, and I didn't put myself in a question and answer thing. Let me ask you something that's fairly innocuous. Is there an effort right now to create a better translation for artists like myself that don't have all the computer training?
Oh yeah, ongoing.
That make it
ongoing.
Use?
You need to, yeah, you need to, you need to regularly attend the office hours. That's the best way to do it, because trying to learn these things all on your own when you don't have the good computer skills to begin with is a surefire way to pull hair out of your head, right? But when you get onto the office hours sessions and you learn with everyone else, we're constantly updating all the playbooks and all the documentation to try and make it easier and easier and easier. But there's just no shortcut to learning it. You have to learn it, Jamie. And you know what? First year sucks. It's a grind. It's a grind. I mean, and for some people it's kicking and screaming because you've never done these things before, right? You've never sent emails, you never posted to the socials, you never built the website, right? And it's tough. But again, I go back to my earlier premise, like, what is the doggone alternative, right? Like, this is the world that we live in, and you need to be contrarian about it.
So you me a long time ago, okay? Mm-hmm. Even when I was furious with you guys because I couldn't understand what I was looking at. Mm-hmm. Now, tell me this. This is a fairly innocuous question also. Mm-hmm. The different backgrounds, can I do those on my own website or on the website you guys?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can. You can switch out the backgrounds at any point in time. And I might as well use that to sort of look at or show it, so to speak. You can change them at any point in time you want, right? Just go to this one. And what he's talking about is we have a tool on the website called the wall preview tool, okay? And what it allows someone to do is they can come to your website and they can see this, okay, he's got this orangutan print. What's it going to look like in the living room, right? And you can size things up and down, and you can change the style of the room that it's in. Is it an office? Is it a nursery? We keep these things innocuous. You can change the wall colors, right, so that a customer can see exactly what it's going to look like.
May I interrupt you, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
The color is not what I'm talking about.
No, I know. You're saying the background image.
The web page. I want to change all that from white to a neutral gray.
Yeah, of course you can change that.
We can't figure out how to do it.
Of course you can change that. I'll have literally somebody reach out to you today, Jamie, and get you unstuck.
Wow, that would be great.
Done. But I want you to start coming to office hours.
All right. Office hours. The next one is Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday, every single solitary week. Yeah. And raise your hand and get unstuck, right? Like, again, right. The frustration that is year one is hard. It's going to be hard. There's no sugarcoating it. But guess what? If you keep your head down and you keep plugging around, by the time you get to the end of it, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm making progress. And then guess what happens year 3, year 4, year 5, when you really start hitting your stride, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, I'm good at computers and a competent marketer. It's amazing. So, yeah.
It is. And I'm not far from your customer that is Lawrence, Kansas, and she's done so well.
Oh, she's killed it. Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
I don't know her real well, but I know that she's made a lot of great creations having to do with the university here, and I'm about 30 minutes away. So let's see. I thought I had one more for you. I'll ask the person you have call me.
Great.
I'll give you the floor.
Okay. And April, just remind me, have Steph reach out to him. You can just tell Steph right now. Jamie Lavin. Thanks, Jamie. Okay, next up is Rita. Go ahead, Rita. Hi.
Okay. I absolutely know that if a business can't sell anything, then it's not a business.
Yes.
So
well
I
said.
absolutely believe in the marketing. I'm full on board with that. My plan is to do live art galleries, live stream until I raise the money to afford you guys.
Wonderful. Love it. Rita, you and I are on the same page.
And in my process of doing that, I have a couple questions. Mm-hmm. How am I able to, whoa, that's a lot of Ritas. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. You might need to change your view to, I think it's speaker view. Is that what it is, one?
Oh no, I like this view. I like all the Ritas.
Okay, cool.
what I want to know is, how can I do a live? I have a lot of physical art that I can sell, but what I want to know is how can I do a live stream art gallery with digital art? Is that something? Because don't they need to see my face? Don't they need to
Yeah,
know what I look like?
ideally, like you would have to get some prints made, right? But the beauty of
Mhm.
like when I do this in person, this whole entire stack to order is like $110. You know,
Uh-huh.
you get a small metal
Okay.
print, and by the way, these are small by design. Do you know how hard it is to hold a giant print on a webcam? Not easy. So you get some small prints, basically just to
Okay.
show some samples and talk about the various different media types, right? I mean,
Okay.
this is just a lot sexier than, showing something digitally on your screen, right? And everyone
Okay.
thinks too that like, oh, I'm just selling the image. No, you're not. You're not selling the image. You are selling something that goes on my wall. So show me something that's going to hang on my wall. This is the finished product, not a digital image, right?
Mhm.
So, and I'm not picking on you. Everyone does that. So I'm just using it to
Right.
rant. So you get some prints made. You use those as the templates. And then you could, of course, show some that are on the screen. But as long as you have some samples to show and to be able to differentiate, you can do a paper print. You can do an acrylic print. They're ready to hang, right? Like, that's sort of the way of it.
Okay. Now you said you have a stack, and it's cheap, cost effective. Um, who do I go to for this so that I can quickly get this done?
asfprints.com. And we don't make any money on that. That's just a sample site to do. And
That's
I would go through your inventory. Okay. I would pick what you think are going to be your, call it 10 best sellers or 7 to 10 best sellers, and upload the images. Our system will tell you what size you can do. Make them small. Okay. Make them small. These things are like 12 by 6 at the largest, right? Or this one's maybe like 8 by 4, right? Like they're small. They're small by design so that they're easy to show on the camera. And like, look, need to zoom in to do the detail? Zoom in, right? Like, that's how we handle it. That's what we can do. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, great. And then my next question is, okay, so get some prints made, show them up. And I know how I would turn the I want to start my price point at around 150 per paper, because I have some watercolors that I can already start showing.
Yep.
Is that a good price point?
Yeah, it is. And look, you can start at any price point, and you can raise or reduce prices at any point in time. It is a reversible decision, one that you can change
Right.
at any point in time. So that's like sort of the great
If
way.
I pick an incorrect price point, like if I heavily overprice something, do I go down? What increments do I go down to expect?
No, pick a heavily high price point, and if it's crickets, lower it. And even when you have a price point, just be like, or best offer, and get in and negotiate, because that's what happens. Negotiation happens on art all the time.
I noticed on our last your last video, you said multiple price points for the people who can't afford very much, the people who are middle of the road, and because there's a bell curve, and then
yeah, broadly that's critically important. But for just these one-off art shows, you don't need to worry about it as much. That's more of like a long-term. I mean, it's a good way to be thinking. Period. But yeah, it's yeah.
Now, what did you say that was a good thing to use that on? Not in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean, just later when you have your whole website set up and the whole thing's humming, then I really love.
When I'm actually working with you guys. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So great. I don't think I have any more questions. I think. I know you guys do, and I don't know if you guys, this is something that only you guys do, but I'm wanting to do multiple live streams across all social media because I want to capture anybody I can.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there a program that will do all of that for me, or is that you guys, or what?
There's a couple of different ways. I would just recommend using, to keep it simple, use your phone and go on the social network that you have the most following on. Okay. And, as you continue to level up, you'll eventually get in a situation. And I love sharing the tradecraft on this because, you've seen me probably share the tradecraft on this on earlier sessions, but I'll do it again for everyone else. So, this is one of the things that we are hacking at continually and learning and getting better. And so if you look in his case, AirPods in his ears, which allows him to connect to his phone. And then we use a laptop to connect to YouTube and Facebook. And that's how we're putting these fancy little banners on and, his logo in the corner and pulling in comments. But early on, it doesn't matter. Early on, it's just about turn the thing on and go for it. turn the thing on, don't overthink it, and go for it. Because what everyone does is like stress out about this or that.
I have multiple social media, and I can do that every single time I do a live art stream. I want to do it regularly so that I quickly raise the money so I can join you guys. Is that just something I need to?
Yeah, I would just, for now, pick your two biggest social platforms, use the phone to go to one, use the laptop to go to the other. Done.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I love your attitude too, Brother Rita. You're fired up about this. I'm betting on you, my dear. Send me an email and let me know how it goes.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Joseph, I did see some questions about pricing in there. So you might want to answer some of those. And I can see Stacy in the chat is not happy with this. I did not know that she was deaf. She kind of needs to let me know that, but I unmuted her, and if she's deaf, obviously she couldn't hear me, so that would make sense. But I'm sorry, Stacy, I didn't know. One thing I forgot. I have to do a poll on these things, and I know some of you guys have just joined, so don't worry if you just joined. But will you let me know? This is totally anonymous too. I don't know who it is. I don't know who you're going to be. Just tell me what you think. Is this session valuable or no? It gives us good feedback if we're on the right track, and I'm actually teaching and giving you guys value, which we're obsessed about doing. But thank you. Thank you for saying that, Gil. I appreciate it. Awesome. You guys are amazing. So okay, so Joseph, maybe you can go into depth on pricing, because I know we had some questions there, just about packages and plans and how that goes. That's also why we do the whole demo process, because then you have like a one-on-one with somebody from the outreach team, and you can ask all the nitty-gritty stuff and really get into it. So go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah. So on the pricing, kind of give you a range, and obviously you can always request more info and talk about it further. But so we have a one-time activation. Generally, that's $1,750. We do have a promotion going on where you could start as low as $1,000 as a one-time fee, and then $44 a month ongoing there. Now that does range on to the high end. We have a one-time activation. Generally, it's $4,000, but that is discounted right now down to $2,700. So a little bit bigger discount on the upper end. If that's in your budget, you could start there, and then that's $59 a month ongoing. Difference is features and the levels. At any level, you're going to get access. We'll give you access to the marketing, consulting, and the calendar and all of that. Like, again, one of the most important things. That's why if it's in your budget at any level, just get started. But yeah, if you request a demo, we can go into more details on what you get. But yeah, that's kind of the full range there for you.
Got it. Phenomenal. Thank you. I'm playing around with all my little Zoom button configurations. Yeah, good session today. What about that? Any other questions, guys? I know some of you guys just joined, Julius, Larry, or you just turned your cameras on. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions. If you do, we'd love to answer. You can kind of just do the hand raise, or you can do the digital hand raise, which is down at the bottom. Or if you've got follow-up questions, now's the time. I can end the poll and get that off the screen. Thank you guys for voting. That helps us. Helps us a bunch. And Sean on YouTube, I'm going to pass your data along. Don't worry, I got you covered. And thanks Denise. I appreciate that. What are additional costs though? I hate surprise costs. There's no surprise costs. We spell pretty much everything out up front. So yeah, there's no surprise costs. Yeah. And we're not like the high pressure, high stress folks either. Like, what happens when you request a demo? Members of Joseph's team will talk to you. They'll answer any questions that you have. If you like what you hear and you want to schedule the full demo, which goes an hour, great, you can do that. If you don't, they will never call you again. This is not like the pressure service. We've been at this for a long time. We're going to continue to be at this for a long time. So it's a big, hard problem to solve. So okay, Tim, you're back. Go ahead.
All right. So this is for real quick. So just to be clear on the pricing, the $1,000 versus the $2,700 is just the features on the website, like you get AR or you don't, or whatever it is. But the marketing, the calendar, all that stuff.
100% of marketing available at every plan. 100% of it. And it's even better. It's even better than that, because we keep adding to it. Once you're in, you're in. Keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. And look, one of the things that I like more than anything else, one of the things that I can't remember what the customer's name was, we support now additional applications, meaning if you have a Facebook problem or an Instagram problem or a Mailchimp problem, you can come on and get support, jump into a Zoom call, and our support staff will get you unstuck. We never had that going on. That was never a part of our package. We just added it, right? We just added it because, genuinely speaking, we only survive and thrive as a business if we have successful customers. And so what we've learned along the way, if our customers get stuck on some stupid tech thing and don't do their marketing for a month, then they're not growing, they're not happy. So now we're getting them unstuck on things. We'll help with your Facebook ads, get you unstuck. We'll help with Mailchimp, with Instagram, like I said, with any of those various different things. Or yes, if it's an issue on the website, you can come on, including Saturdays. We even have support on Saturdays now, which, you know, a lot of people are working. And Tim, I notice your bandwidth, your internet connection is spiking. It's going high and it's going low in terms of your connection. So, especially if you come on board, we're going to get some stronger internet in that office. Or maybe are you on your phone? What do you want?
Yeah, I've got gig, which is interesting, but I've got a bunch of file uploads happening right now.
Yeah, that's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. That's what's doing it. And that, by the way, can I just show you? So this is just how funny the world of live streaming is. Okay, so when you guys are contemplating running your live art shows, okay, and this is my buddy Matthew, who I've run a bunch of these shows with, right? He ran one recently, okay, another one, and if you look at this video on YouTube, do you notice anything? Quality's a little crappy, isn't it? You want to know why the quality's crappy? Because his partner is upstairs binging Netflix while he's running his live art show. These are the boxes that you have to tick off when you start running these things. No one in the house can be streaming. This means your kids, your significant others, anyone else. So the whole thing is just part of a learning process, which is amazing. But yeah, that's what I would say. And did that answer it, Tim, or do you have more?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay, awesome. Great question. So Karen's asking me, do you like TikTok? Or do you do TikTok? We do have some customers that are doing TikTok. And Rita, Patrick at Art Storefronts. We do have some customers that are doing TikTok. And look, you have to be contrarian. If a platform has attention, okay, then you have to go where the attention are. If we were in the fishing business and there were fish in a certain area, then you've got to go where the fish are, okay? And that's just the rules of the game. So does TikTok have attention? Yes, they do. Does the audience skew younger? Yes, it does. Do I have my own personally held beliefs that the Chinese government is jacked into that company and that they're getting way too much data on us, and so I don't like it? Yes, I do. But again, got to be contrarian about these things. So if it's working for you, Karen, I would do it. What we advise people mostly, though, is that, you know, Facebook and Instagram are usually better sources of attention and traffic than TikTok is, especially being that the audience skews younger. And while some of our customers are doing pretty decent in terms of sales that they're generating on it, you know, the younger audience, is usually not the biggest art purchasers. It's just not. I mean, that can be, you know, again, it can be different for different people. Denise, how much is Mailchimp? Mailchimp starts out for free, okay? And then as you start building subscribers, then it eventually starts charging you. But what ends up happening is you're more than happy to pay it once it does, because you're generating sales and you're capturing emails and you're on the path. You're doing the good stuff. So that's
over 2,000.
Is it over 2,000?
A lot of contacts before you'd pay anything.
Yeah. So yeah, Denise, until you have 2,000 people on that list, Mailchimp is free, which is why we go with it. We really tend to like it. Yeah, and Michelle. So Michelle's asking, like, you know, what do you do when you're in an apartment building? And so what I like to do is I will go on to. I mean, how hilarious is this? Literally, the whole thing was screwed up just because you can go speed test in a Chrome browser, and you can run a test, and right here, and it will tell you kind of what your internet speed is. It'll give you a download and upload. It's completely free. So if you browse with Chrome, you just type speed test, and it will tell you. And that's a good way to sort of figure out, am I in a good zone or am I in a bad zone, right? And, you know, sometimes we have smart devices that are connected to the internet, right? And, you know, there could be a smart TV or a smart something else. And one of the things that you need to kind of go through is a check down, is say, like, hey, am I going to have enough bandwidth to do this? Do I know what I'm doing? You know, can I unplug these things? And so, you know, these are all the types of trade crafty things that we teach as we go along. As we go along. Yeah, I mean, don't overthink it, guys. I mean, the reality is that try one. If the quality is crappy, you got a problem. Then start going unplugging all those things. If you don't, carry on with it, right? And yes, Rita, you should not have 50 Chrome tabs open, right? And I clearly don't violate that. What you should, if I showed you my full screen of my main browser, how many my browser tabs have browser tabs. I mean, I got about 165 opened at a time. It's a problem. It's a problem. What about you, Larry? You've been brave the entire time. Camera on. You got a good little background going on. Do you have any questions? You have to hit your mic icon, Larry, bottom left. I'll let you know when you get it. It'll be like the bottom left-hand corner of the black there. Gotcha.
Okay. You know, I'm more interested in the fulfillment side of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to really sell original art.
Okay.
I want to sell prints because I know more people buy prints than they can, or there's a larger market for prints than for original art.
Mm-hmm.
My question is this on the fulfillment aspect of it. So you got payment, prints, and shipping. How does that exactly work? What's the percentage? Is there a set percentage from the printer as far as what their take is going to be to print the product, and also handling the shipping? Because I know trying to handle the shipping by myself would be just an astronomical cost. So, you know, just in a nutshell, how does that all work?
Yeah, I can take that one. So I guess long answer, but when you upload your images, you actually take the file that the printer will print from. It'll analyze it and populate the sizes for you, so you don't have to figure that out, which is really nice. And then so all those sizes are available for like all the medias in the frames, like all that's done. And then when an order comes through, the merchant's going to process it, send you the money. The printer, they'll get a notification there was a sale, and they're going to just print, frame, and ship it. Of course, they're huge labs, so they've negotiated really big, like good shipping rates. So again, yeah, you're right. It's hard to compete with them on like shipping rates and things like that. But they're just going to print, frame, and ship it automatically. Their cost, though, you're just paying the cost of the print to the printer. So it's just like your wholesale cost, and then you'll take that and mark it up to whatever you'd like to charge.
Okay, now I have my own place that I said to have high res scans done, for the prints. Now currently I only have 3, but on my current website I have something like 12 images. So from my understanding is, once I get a sale, boom, I can have basically a period of a week or so to try to get a scan, the high res scan done quickly to send to you guys or to the printer to actually.
Yes, Larry. Yes. No one ever says this. You are the first person to actually say this to me, because everyone is like, I will just get going once I get everything photographed and scanned. You don't need to do that. Sell it. Then write me an email and be like, thanks so much for the order, Patrick. Incredible. Listen, I am just about to get this thing rescanned, so it's a little bit higher resolution file. Are you okay waiting a week and a half for me to do that? Of course I'm going to say yes, right? You don't even have to incur the expense until you sold it. I love that. I love this way of thinking. This is a just ship it mentality. Fantastic. But you don't need to get it scanned either. You can get somebody to come to your house and photograph everything, by the way.
Okay, great. And from my understanding too, as far as the payment, the purchaser buys the print, that money comes to me, and then the fee for the printer would then come from my account to the printer, correct? So it doesn't kind of like split into two different directions. It comes to me, and then I pay the printer through my account automatically. Is that the correct assumption?
Yeah, you can just keep a card on file that you like your business expenses to go on, and it would just charge that cost of the print on there for you. So it could be automated.
Okay, so I can actually open up let's say, a separate account at my bank, and just use that as my business account, where any transaction would go through that account.
Yeah.
Okay. Then once the transaction happens, then I just basically click a button, send it to, or do a Zelle to the printer, so they can get their money. But the printer will already know that a print has been ordered, correct? So if they select a image from my website and pay me, the the printer already knows that there's an order that needs to be fulfilled. So it's already, they already know about it. Then I just pay them so they can actually fulfill it. Is that a correct assumption as well?
I mean, once you get it scanned, you can set it up to just like truly be automated. With beforehand, you can just kind of put it up on there and just receive an email for that order, and that way the printer wouldn't even, because they won't have the file yet to make it.
Okay.
So you could,
but once it's on file, and they get notification, will they get? I guess my question is, will they get a notification from the buyer that they placed the order?
they get a notification through your website that there is an order and like what the media is, what the size, if they ordered a frame, and then they're just going to handle it.
Okay, so I don't have to do the notification. It's already automated.
No, that's the beauty. You touch nothing. You touch nothing. It honestly, automation is the only way to go about it. And you're overthinking it, but the reason automation is the only way to go about it, because you doing any of that nonsense is not fundamentally going to increase the value of the business or bring more revenue into the business. You want all of that automated. Order comes in, you get paid, printer gets paid, order gets shipped, your logo gets slapped on the side of the box, it ends up with the recipient. All of the emails are taken, all of the correspondence, tracking number, all of it done. Touch nothing.
Yeah.
Touch nothing.
Yeah. It's got your tracking slip in there. They get notifications of like, hey, your order's been processed, your order's been shipped. They get their tracking number. Like all that stuff happens for you. It's really nice. Yeah, we have the nicest print on demand on the market.
It's not even that it's really nice. Like, yes, it's really nice, but I don't care about that. None of the admin stuff is going to fundamentally grow your business. So you need to outsource it. It's the beauty of POD, right? It's the beauty of not having to have any minimums, of not having to carry any inventory whatsoever, and of not having to touch anything. And even better still, I say this sometimes, raise Joseph's blood pressure, but because of the print partners that we partnered with, one's on the West Coast, one's on the East Coast, they're both massive businesses, $30-40 million a year. Do you know what happens when something goes wrong? They just go, you know what? Don't care. They'll just print another order and send it directly to the customer. They don't even want the old one back because it costs too much money. It's a waste of their time. They just print out another one and it's gone. It happens so infrequently, it's insane. But another benefit is when you're working with outfits that sell $30-40 million a year and also ship that much, they get better rates with the big carriers than anyone else does. You can't get that rate. Your local guy can't get that rate. So the shipping is actually cheaper for your customer too. So it's a phenomenal way, and it's one less thing. And if I can go and get a couple hours of your time back a week from that admin nonsense that you can put into your marketing, I'm actually going to have you growing a real business.
Now I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as like marking up, let's say I just want to offer 3 different sizes: small, medium, large.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have, is there like a set size that the printer would set, or do I set that?
You set that, but we advise a 250% markup on most items, sort of just as a blanket. You have to sometimes adjust things to taste. You have the ability to set a site-wide markup. You have the ability to set on an item-by-item basis, on a size-by-size basis. So it's completely up to you. But the majority of art is sold during sales. Okay, it just is. You market all year long, you have a sale. You market, you have a sale. You market, you have a sale, right? And so you need to have a healthy margin built in there such that when you do run a sale and you do 20% off or 10% off or 15% off, you still have healthy margins, right? So that's sort of what we advise on it. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the publishing business for over 30 years. So,
you got it.
The print on demand is something that's new, but I see the efficiency of it. And that's why I was asking these questions about the sizes, because, I have artwork that's at different sizes, and, trying to come up with a common size that would fit all of them, is kind of like a hit or a miss. So, I can either design the artwork to fit in a certain size format, or I can adjust the artwork on the page to get as much as the image on it. Because when people pay for something, they're expecting to see like a image that fills the whole sheet of paper versus, you got about an inch off of each side and a quarter inch off the top and bottom. They may feel cheated. So that's why when I'm interested in the print end, as far as especially with the with the print on demand. And that's why I want to know, would it be beneficial for me to set 3 standardized sizes?
No.
And
I would, the scanned work goes into our system. Our system tells you what size you can go. I like a good size range. I like a good size range. I like that the customer has the ability to pick the size that they want. It costs you nothing to offer those additional sizes. Give the customers choice. Now, within reason, right? Too many choices can lead to analysis paralysis. So there could be an argument for there's just 3 sizes and that's it. But I like to have a decent range of sizes such that you can go pretty big on the wall in some cases because that stuff sells. Stuff sells.
Mm-hmm. So it's really the end user or the buyer who can have that freedom of choice.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
As it should be.
So I don't have to worry about that at all.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
There are some situations where people like to set really rigid parameters and, to each their own, right? What I like is I like a range of sizes within reason, okay? I like a range of options within reason, and it costs you nothing to offer those. Nothing, right? You just offer them on the site. If people want them, great. If they don't, if it's crickets, then you can pare it down later. But, don't think you're smarter than the customer. Like, we don't know until we've gone through a year of marketing and sales, and then we see what moves, and then we say, okay, now I have a better understanding of what my buyers actually want, and I can make some course corrections.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just speaking from years and years of being in publication design.
Yeah.
How that all works from that point of view. But when you're talking about individual artwork, and now that the advent of print on demand is here,
Changed everything. Yeah.
Okay. That I think that's really about all I can come up with right now.
Okay. Well, you let me know if you come up with some others.
I will.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, Julius, you're up next. And Wesley, I see your hand, and I'll get to you too. Don't worry about it. Julius, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I feel slightly embarrassed because
No, don't at all.
I think I jumped in an hour too late.
Yep, that's okay.
So I'm a absolute naive about the whole process. I know nothing from nothing. I don't know anything about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is about I paint.
Yeah.
So, is this an appropriate time for me to jump in and say, start me at the beginning?
Yeah. So what we'll do is the minute the session is over, the whole entire earlier session where you missed like some of the presentation and some of the details, we'll send you that video, and you can watch the video, and that'll be hugely helpful, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But if you have, you're like, well, I have specific questions, but I don't know what you guys do because I didn't watch it. It'll probably just be faster, and then you can respond to that email if you have any follow-up questions for me.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, Julius. And Sharon's asking in the chat, do you send artists monthly SEO statements to let them know what traffic are going to work? The stats are going to their site. Yeah, we have like a built-in stats thing that talks a tremendous amount about where your sales are coming from, what's actually the driver, what traffic sources are working. But early on, everyone's desire is like, ooh, I'm gonna obsess over my stats. But early on, you don't have enough stats. You have to work on getting some stats in the first place. So early on, glance at it monthly, have a quick peek, say, okay, this is interesting, fantastic. Get back to your marketing, right? Get back to your marketing, which is really the ball game. One of the things too, I know, Sharon, but people obsess on it, and then I have to be like, stop obsessing about that. Okay, you don't have statistical significance. You can't really make any decisions until you've done enough marketing. April, will you put in the chat? A number of people are asking questions about the how do you get your work photographed, right? Like, I see Denise is asking, and we'll send you this article, Denise. Somebody will put it on Facebook, which will walk you through all the various different ways that you can get your work scanned. There it is. We've got a guide. The guy that wrote this guide used to photograph artwork for Sotheby's, so he's super legit. It's totally free. That'll walk you through sort of your options and what you can do and how you can get started and everything else. Okay. All right, Wesley, go ahead.
Hey, Patrick. I jumped on because it sounded like earlier you were dying. You needed somebody to ask a relevant question. Here's one for you.
I appreciate that, Wesley.
Anybody who's selling anything to anybody has the same question on their mind. So I think you, more than anyone, would probably understand why this is relevant. Because I understand you know a lot about crypto. So yeah, everybody of course heard the news that some crypto czar paid what was it 399 million of crypto for a digital work of art, which basically allows him to produce one single Jiggly print on canvas. He has no reproduction rights, and so obviously, and this was somebody I'm sure who's never bought a Monet or a Pollock or any other, traditional art in his life, and he's willing to pay this ridiculous amount of money for a piece of digital art. So obviously, this has thrown the traditional art world into a frenzy. What the heck is going on here? But one of the implications, I think, of that event is that it would seem to me it's opened up a new opportunity to sell art. In this case, it's digital art, but to a whole new group of potential art buyers. And the thing that triggered my interest in this is Sotheby's just announced that they're going to allow anybody who bids on a Banksy. I don't know if anybody knows who Banksy is, but he's one of the hot contemporary artists right now. Anybody who bids on that is free to pay for that painting if they win with crypto. And of course, everybody's probably heard our friend Elon Musk.
Wesley, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Do you know this part?
People. Yeah, there you go.
Do you know this part about him?
He was the one who got paid an incredible amount of money for a piece of digital artwork.
Right, but the premise is this all of a sudden magically happened to him. Do you know what this number is? 5,123 days.
That was the number of days it took him to produce this digital work of art. He did it what's called an every day. Every single day he created some new digital piece of art, and then he accumulated over this period of time.
5,123 days in a row. That guy's been putting out a unique individual piece of art. So do you think this was a fluke that he sold it? Or do you think you see somebody that has been grinding on his work and marketing for 5,123 days in a row? Everybody's gravitating towards this incredible sale like this guy just popped up out of nowhere. This guy's been in the trenches grinding at this for an extremely long time. An extremely long time. And everyone
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
The question is, of course, there's a lot of the traditional art market who say doesn't deserve it, but I'm not one of those. I would never criticize any contemporary artist for doing well and making a living selling whatever style of art they're trying to market. But the question that I had, and this was a long introduction to my question, is that crypto seems to be something that mainstream vendors are going to start being willing to take. Tesla's the one that is really caught my attention.
Take it, Wesley. Take it. Just start telling people. Start telling people.
Are you guys going to start setting up art storefronts to take crypto for the payment of?
The minute I have 10 customers tell me people are asking to pay in crypto, then yes. Other than that, no. It's not going to change anything fundamentally in your business, Wesley. It's just not. If somebody says, "Hey, can you pay in crypto?" Do you know how quickly you can set up a Coinbase account to take that crypto as payment? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Putting the crypto button on your website is not going to fundamentally change whether or not the work is selling, okay? It is not even a proper medium to use as currency because all of them are fluctuating so crazily. Most people are not using it. In the case of people, in the case of some of these NFTs, yes, you have some of the early crypto millionaires that are getting a kick out of buying these things and trading and transferring some of their wealth, especially because we're in another bull run. But it's not going to fundamentally change anything, Wesley. It's not something that you need to lose sleep over. You can put the Bitcoin button on your site right now. I take Bitcoin, I take Ethereum, I take whatever you want. Okay. I feel like you're chasing the shiny object again, brother. So I feel
okay, I can respect that view because you're right more often than you're wrong. But here's the test: if this Banksy, the estimate is $3 to $5 million. If this Banksy goes crazy in this upcoming, I think it's this week, Sotheby's is offering it. And it turns out to be one of these crypto czars who buys it at some ridiculous amount of money. doesn't that establish the premise that I guess I'm raising is that you're opening up a whole new market for traditional art if you're willing to take crypto, and then it trickles down. It's not just people that are
I fundamentally do not agree with the premise, Wesley. If you're not
Really?
selling your work, okay, in a non-friction filled, okay, adding crypto to the transaction makes selling art even more difficult, okay, because it is there's a great degree of complexity for most people, okay. If you are not selling the work without crypto, you are not going to be selling the work with crypto. That's the problem in your premise. Banksy, okay, can sell work any which way he wants. He's earned it. He's grinded it out. He's got a robust business. So, you know, will the crypto market, does it represent for the time being an expansion of the art market? To your earlier point, people that were not originally buying Monets and Renoirs and Jackson Pollocks and everything else, sure, absolutely it does. But the people that are selling these works for crypto have huge marketing machines and have had huge marketing machines for a long time, i.e. Banksy, i.e. Beeple. So any view of it going to be fundamentally changing your business by saying all of a sudden you take Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or Dogecoin or any of the rest of them, I do not believe in that. I don't think it's going to change anything. And you can put me to the test, Wesley. Go on to Google right now, fire up the Google on the internet machine, download the We Accept Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, XRP, and put that on your website and come back to me in a year and let me know if it's changed anything for you. I'm picking on you a little bit now, Wesley. But
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. The bigger problem I have is still the marketing issue.
Yes.
But here's the question: if somebody comes to my site, however I get them there, right, and there's somebody deep into crypto, and I offer painting and
put the badge up, Wesley. I'm telling you what to do.
Currency, why wouldn't they be more likely to buy it?
I'm telling you what to do right now, Wesley. You can do it as soon as we get off this call. Go onto Google. Crypto accepted here. Go find a badge. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of them. Okay. Put it on your website. Done. That's it.
I'm gonna watch to see how this Banksy painting does this week, and if it does well, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I would do it today. Do it today. And go and start a Coinbase account so you can actually accept it.
I mean, because we still don't know. This was I think the Beeple thing was, I wouldn't call it a one-off because we've seen some NFTs sell for ridiculous amounts of money since. But it seems to be only happening in the digital art world. We haven't seen this phenomenon yet in the traditional art world. So that's the big test this week. We'll see how this Banksy does.
Yeah, I'll keep an ear to the ground, and I'm sure it'll sell. I mean, people love Banksy stuff. But Wesley, I'm serious. Put the doggone thing on your website right now. It'll cost you nothing to put that on your website. You have the banners on there. Start a Coinbase account, and guess what? If somebody says, "Hey, I want to pay for a piece of work with crypto," you can send them your digital wallet. Okay, Coinbase accepts almost all of the big ones, and boom, you got a sale there. So you could potentially go. Larry's asking, what is your policy on artist protection, security, copyrights? So Larry, you can watermark your images if you want, or not, up to you. We disable the downloading of images and have good security, practically speaking, in that capacity for what's on your website. Doesn't matter. The images are small enough on the website such that nobody can really print them or reproduce them big. But anyone can get any image that's on the internet in 2 seconds. It doesn't matter what the security is. But practically speaking, it's not a problem. And if you feel strongly about it, you can watermark your images, which is what some people do. So that's what I would say. Joseph, can you think of anyone that's had a problem with having their images downloaded and reproduced and that whole jazz?
No. I mean, there's no right-clicking, no drag and dropping. We never show any print-ready files on the front, so there's a lot of image security already built in.
Yeah.
And just not a big problem that a lot of people have.
Yeah. All right. Well, good session today. Enjoyed it, Joseph. Thanks.
Of course.
Thanks for being on. All right, Rita. I want to hear about those sales. Rita. Yep, that's right. I like it. I like that enthusiasm. And Julius, we'll send you the video in just a little bit. And thanks, Larry, and thanks everyone else that's been on. Yeah, we'll email you. We'll email you all the links and everything that we talked about after the fact. We're definitely running a sale right now. So if you're this is the first time you've heard about us, don't worry about it. But if you're curious and you want to figure out, get more information, the requested demo is a 10 to 15 minute call. And Joseph, his team, will talk to you. They'll look at your art, give you an update on absolutely everything, and you can lock in sale pricing if that's the case. Another question from Christine. Go ahead, Christine. Are you there, Christine? You'll need to unmute. It's the bottom right-hand corner. I'll let you know when you get it. So bottom left-hand corner mic icon, you just need to hit like hit the mic icon. Yeah. Doesn't look like you're getting it. I'm gonna try one more time to ask you to unmute. You might need to throw your question in the chat, Christine. I don't think you're figuring out the unmute. Yeah. I'll leave it going for a second. But anyway, Joseph, what is the sale? Did you talk about the sale already? My mind's kind of fried on a Monday.
I did, but I could say it again, talk about it again. Yeah, a couple different promotions, on our entry level or kind of base option. It's a one-time activation, generally of $1,750, but knocking that down to $1,000 to start right now, and then $44 a month ongoing. On the high end, goes up to a one-time activation of $4,000. That we have a promotion on. You can save more there and get a bigger discount and start for $2,700 at the moment, and then $59 a month ongoing there. And again, you can put in a demo request and they'll talk to you more about details and maybe make a recommendation what works for you. But yeah, the higher end's got every feature bell and whistle. We have a giant feature list that we can send you as well. And if that's not in the budget, then you can just get started, get all the marketing things you need. I almost kind of consider the entry tier there like essentials. It's like the core things you need to sell, and then you can always upgrade to add the extra bells and whistles at any time. So,
boom, love it. All right, good session. I think Julius has got one more question. Love it. Running it out. Go ahead, Julius.
Okay, it just popped into my head. Aside from doing painting, I also am a silversmith.
Okay.
Is that an area that you deal with?
Yeah, so our websites are set up to sell wall art, but they're also just traditional e-commerce sites. You can sell whatever you want. So while we don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jewelers on the platform, we do have some jewelers on the platform, and they practically speaking do just fine. And you can have it right alongside your art too. No problem with that at all.
Thank you. That answers the question.
Jewelry, sculpture, any other products you guys are making?
Courses.
Right.
Yeah, straight up books, all of it. We have some people that are selling, like they're doing photo tours. Sell those right on the website. Like you can sell literally anything. Is there a provision, Robert? I don't understand this question for sure. I'm gonna try and unmute you. Okay, Ellen wants to come in too, and then Robert, I'll answer your question. Go ahead, Ellen.
Hey, I just wanted to say hi. I just joined you guys.
Oh,
I just signed up.
Welcome aboard,
Hey.
Ellen.
Hey, thank you.
Ellen,
Thank you.
no monkeying around with the website. I want that thing live as soon as possible. So we can get into the marketing.
Do not.
I think.
Patrick, I'm old enough to be your mother, probably.
Oh, I doubt that. You look young to me. I'm old, have a baby face.
I'm 68.
You're definitely not old enough to be my mother.
I heard what you said the other day about
Your connection's going a little weird on us, Ellen, so I stopped your...
woman who did live and posted it, and bam, bam, and she was old enough to... Okay. Sorry.
No. I killed your camera, so it should be it should be okay now in audio. Try one more time.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard you the other day when you were, and you said she was in her late 60s and like old enough to be your mother, and so I'm 68.
68 years young, as far as I'm concerned. You have another 35 years at a minimum.
At
a minimum of selling art, my dear. 35 years at a minimum.
Yes, that's what I'm planning. That's my goal. So I'm here. I'm going for it.
Wonderful. Just dive right into the documentation. We have some fun little things, but I want you to get that website up as soon as possible. Do not spend too much time on it. You need a logo, an about me section, the pieces, and then game on.
I will do it. I'm signed up for the workshop tomorrow morning.
Wonderful. Yeah, you'll love the workshops, and don't be shy on those. You can ask as many questions as you want.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Congrats and welcome aboard. And I'll see you on the inside. I'll see you on the inside.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, Robert, I'm going to unmute you. Is there any provision for traditional style limited edition prints with the fine art paper, actual artist signature, frame choice? Are the prints you clay or more like poster quality? Those are good questions, Robert. Yeah, quality is completely up to you. You can do a poster style print, or you can do the highest of the high end media types. Completely up to you. In terms of limited editions, there's not really any one playbook that works for freaking everyone. It's totally just dealer's choice. Like you can do limited editions of 4. You can set the price extremely high. When the orders come in, you can have them shipped to you. You pull them out of the box, you sign your name on them, and you ship them back out. So that's normally how that's done. That's what I would say. Other than that, Robert, I can't hear you because you're still muted. It's the mic icon bottom left.
Mute.
Yeah, now I got you.
Unmute.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, do you have any access to collectors that
No. Everyone has been asking me about that list for 6 years. There is no mythological list of collectors. And even if you had one, it wouldn't work because everybody likes different art choices. But we teach you how to build that list, and building that list comes from marketing, just how it goes, right? And your collector list wouldn't necessarily buy anyone else's art, right? So there's not like one magical list of collectors that everyone just emails and gets sales from. That's like Bigfoot. Everyone's heard about that. No one's ever seen it because it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you were on a call earlier, weren't you? Weren't you on?
Well, I came in the middle, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you mean at one time in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you looked familiar. Yeah. So, okay. And Larry's asking, my current site is a portfolio site. Can I use it as a front end and use your e-commerce site on the back end? Yeah, all day, Larry. We have a bunch of people that do that. We call it a bolt on, but your normal site would stay your normal site, Larry, and then your store would be store dot, right? Like, can we give it for instance? Where we see it most often is with like working commercial photographers. So let me see here. So this is this guy's